Congratulations, you just graduated college. By the way, here's your bill, $35,000 in student loans. Good luck paying it. Buzzkill after getting a 4-year degree. Hi, my name is Pierre Cardone, and I want to talk about the high tuition rates in our country and how we can reduce tuition and standardize it across the board to make it more affordable for students to attend higher education. So let's jump right into it. Let's look at 3 different areas on this topic. 1, let's look at the average cost of college in our country. 2, let's look at the burden students face once they graduate in paying back these loans. And 3, let's look at a possible solution in reducing and standardizing education in our country. So, let's look at the average cost of college. There's different levels of institutes when it comes to colleges, the lowest one being a 2-year institute or a community college. According to the College Board, the average cost of a 2-year institute is $11,438. Now let's say you decide to pursue a 4-year degree or a state university. These have 2 different types of costs associated. If you go to a state university in your state, then you would get charged an in-state tuition fee. If you go to a state university outside of your state, you'll get charged slightly higher at an out-of-state tuition fee. So let's look at the difference in fees. If you go to an in-state university, your average cost is $19,548 to receive your degree, as opposed to going to an out-of-state university where your cost is $34,031 to get that degree. But wait, it gets better. Let's say you decide to go to a private university to get the best information and education possible. According to the College Board, this will run you about $43,921 to receive a bachelor's degree. This can be quite steep for the graduating student, which brings me up to the next area, which is the burden students face in paying back these loans. So now you have this $43,000 loan and you have to pay it back. The way our economy is set up, most students graduating will enter our workforce in a low level or an entry level job which pays you the minimal salary. Although you do have the opportunity to rise and go up in that company or organization, it will take you a while. However, your student loans start to kick in already. As a matter of fact, according to Covert, students will most likely go into a job that has nothing to do with the degree they received just to make ends meet as they enter the workforce. Now that's kind of sad. According to the Washington Post, and I'm going to read it directly off, at the end of March of 2016, 7.9 million people had not made payment on 121 billion in student loans for at least 9 months, a nearly 8% increase over the same period a year earlier. And this is according to the department's latest data, the Department of Education, that is. What does that tell you? It tells you that these high rates that students are facing are just almost impossible to pay back with the job that they get once they graduate. So, what's the solution? This is what I propose. It's going to be several steps to the solution, but let's look at the first step. I think college tuition should be standardized. That means if you go to a 2-year institute, there should be a cap on the highest amount a student can be charged. Same for state universities and same for the private universities. Second, I think if a student graduates with a 3.0 or higher, the government should pick up half the bill and leave the student to pay the rest of the 50% of the tuition. Although this seems kind of unfair to the federal government, right now they're facing $121 billion in default. I believe that by them picking up 50% of the bill, not only will they save money, but they can ensure that the students are able to pay the remaining 50% since it's a much smaller portion to pay. And last, in order to protect this program, I believe that if a student drops out or does not graduate, they are obligated to pay the new standardized rate in full. So it's quite simple. College is expensive, receiving your education is expensive, but I believe that if we standardize it and we put certain restrictions and incentives for students, such as the government paying 50% of your loan if you graduate and you remaining with the balance, more students will be inclined to go to college, receive and successfully complete their degree, and more so pay off their loans, which is extremely important in reducing our deficit with the Department of Education. Thank you, and have a blessed one.